Hello everyone, welcome back to the Java course 2023. In this video, we are going to discuss about the static keyword in Java. So, before we understand about the static keyword, let's analyze an example and then we will see what is static keyword and why it is used. Okay, suppose you have a class animal, okay, and every animal has two eyes. That's fine. So every animal has two eyes. So we can just initialize the variable here. We can define a property of an animal int I is equal to 2, right? And every animal has a name, lion, tiger, cheetah, whatever, right? Now every animal has a common property. Every animal can walk. So we can define public void walk, and inside it we can just print animal can walk, right? Wait. Okay. Now, if I create an object of animal a1 equal to new animal, and I say a1 dot eyes equal to 2, okay, and then I assign a1 dot name of this animal can be tiger. So let's consider first animal object as tiger. Let's create a second animal object a2 as another an animal object. This time a2 also has two eyes. Basically we don't need to specifically write as we have initialized it, but let's write it for the sake of simplicity. And the name of this animal is lion, and let's call their behavior. So tiger can walk, of course it can run also, but yeah, it can walk, and lion can also walk perfectly, no problem in that, right? But now you see that here is a problem. Actually, we are specifying that tiger has two eyes. We are specifying that animal lion has two eyes, right? Then we are saying tiger can walk. We are saying lion can walk. Don't you think these two things, the property of eyes and the behavior of walking, both are common among all the animals? If you take any animal, every animal has two eyes and every animal can walk. So these are the two common things that is true for any animal. We don't need to specify for every object that okay, this animal object has two eyes, this animal can walk. Okay, that sound a bit not good thing, right? A very stupid type of thing to say tiger can walk, lion can walk, elephant can walk. It's not good thing. We can just say animal can walk, right? We can just say animal have two eyes, right? That makes more sense. So to make something common among all the objects, Java has given a keyword which is called as static keyword. Now I tell you how this static keyword works. Now here we have not used static keyword right now. Int I is equal to 2. Okay. So I am just using, I am assigning here eyes here. If I don't assign and if I just print a1 dot eyes here, and if I just print a2 dot eyes here, okay, and if we run this method, we are saying we are getting two eyes of, and here a1 dot eyes values is 2, a2 dot eyes values is 2, because every object can have their, will have assigned their own properties, will have their own properties of eyes, will have their own property of name, and have their own behavior of walk. Okay, so you can change it, but we know that both are common in that. So if you try to change a2 dot eyes, suppose there is an animal with three eyes. I don't know which animal has three eyes. I'm not able to remember. If you remember any such animal, you can write in the comment section. So if I write this and if I try to print, okay, if I try to print again, then see it's coming 3. So a2 dot eyes has changed. But does this affect a1 also? Let's see. Let's print a1 dot eyes. Let's see if the value of a1 dot eyes also changes. No, a1 dot eyes is still 2, because eyes is a property which every animal object will possess independently. Okay, it will not depend on one another, right? So that's perfectly fine. But we have just discussed that every animal has two eyes, and that's a common property of every animal. So Java provides a static keyword. Now if we use a static keyword, if you use static keyword here, now what it means, that it means that this property eyes is now common for all the animals. Okay, every animal by default will have this property, and if any object if any object of this class tries to change this property, it will be changed for all the object. Now see that we have first printed for a1.eyes, it will come out to be 2. We have then printed a1 a2.eyes, that will come out to be 2 again. Let's comment out for some time this one. And we have changed the property of eyes to 3. So let's see how it works. So first a1.eyes is value is 2, then for a2 object it is 2, then we changed the value of eyes to 3, so it came 3. Now let's check out for this one, what happens to a1.eyes. Okay, so if we check it, see a1.eyes also got changed. Why? Because once we write static in front of a variable, that property becomes the common property of all the objects that we create. Okay, and any object that tries to change that property, it changes for all the objects. Okay, so here we can use the uh, static keyword for a common property. So let me remove this, and let me remove this also, because every animal I think have two eyes only. Maybe some exception cases can be there, I don't know, but yeah, in common every animal will have two eyes. Now similarly, walk is a behavior. Walk is a behavior of every animal. So every animal can walk. Tiger can walk, lion can walk, cow can walk, dog can walk. So why to specify that like this by specifying each and individual animal? We can just say every animal can walk, right? So walk is a common property. So we can just write static in front of this, and now it becomes common for all the object. We don't have to specifically call the walk for every object. Now your question may be, okay, we don't have to call for a specific object, but how do we call this method? How do we change the property? Because only objects can change the property. Then how can we change that property? Since these two objects have common properties of eye and common behavior of walk, right? And these two objects belong to same class animal. So can't we say that this property eye and this behavior, this method walk, belongs to the class itself, because it's common. It's not the personal property of any particular object. It is common property, so it belongs to a class. And that's why, rather than using the object to access the property or to change the property or to call this walk behavior, we can just remove this, same for this, same for this, and okay, and we can just say that animal dot eyes equal to 2. Okay, and we can just print animal dot eyes. Okay, similarly we can call animal dot walk. So by this way we are now specifying that all the animal objects have two eyes and all the animal can walk. We don't need to explicitly call these methods, call the behavior of the animal, or specify the property of a object which are common. Okay, so this is the use of the static keyword. So static keyword is used for variables, for methods in which you want to make common for all objects. So suppose you have a student class. In a student class, maybe all the students belong to a same college. Okay, so you can make the college name as same. Similarly, for employees, you can make their company name as same if all employees belong to same class, same company. So you can specify that property as static. So this is the use of the static keyword. Now there is also one thing known as static block. Now static block is written by use a static keyword and then put curly braces. Now why static block is there? So static block is mainly used to initialize the static variables. So static variables, so you can specify here I is equal to 2. Okay, now why there, now the question is, we have seen earlier, whenever we make an object and when we call the class, we can initialize the variables inside the constructor, right? We have seen that earlier. So why we are not using that? Now remember that when we are creating the object of a class, then we need the constructor, right? But these static properties, the eyes, the walk method, these do not belong to a single object. Without even creating a new object, we can call these things. If you remove this, if I comment it out, it doesn't matter. You can still call these properties, you can still call the method. Why you can call this? Because it is common property. It doesn't have anything to do with any object. You can do that, but that is not recommended also, and that doesn't make sense. Like I give you an example. Say you say, okay, tiger hunts the animal and eat them, lion hunts the animal and eat them, cheetah also hunts the animal and eats them. That looks stupid, right? Instead we can say that the carnivores eat the animal, hunt the animal and eat them, right? That makes more sense. So in the same way, these static keywords which is used in for variables and methods, we can just reference it using the name of the class. Okay, now how things work. Whenever the Java execution is done, first thing that happens is the classes are loaded. And I have tell you in the first two videos of this course, if you go back and access the playlist given in the description, you will see all the videos here. There you can see that I have explained that whenever a Java program we execute, first the dot class files are made. Okay, so when these dot class files are made, it means that the class is first loaded into it. Okay, object is not directly first created, first class is loaded. So when class is loaded, then all the properties, all the methods that belongs to the class is called first, is initialized first. Okay, so that's why this static block belongs to class, and whenever the class is loaded, the static block executes. Therefore all the static all the static properties should be initialized inside the static block. Also remember that inside the static method, you can directly call, only directly call the static method, and you can only directly access the static key, static variables. So if you try to use a non-static thing, you can see that non-static field cannot be referenced from a static context. You cannot use this, right? Because it is a static thing. So this is all about the static thing, static keyword thing, because it all belongs to, and it basically is a global variable. Also, if you are coming from the background of C and C++, JavaScript, Python, then you may be aware of the concept of global variable. Now it's not actually a global variable, but yeah, it is a sort of a global variable that works, that is global for all the objects in the sense, okay, which belongs to a particular class, right? So this is all how we use the static keyword. We will, don't worry about if you have not understood it completely, we will also explore about the static class when we will be discussing about inheritance, polymorphism and more concepts in Java. Okay, so we will continue to explore more about them and more usage about these concepts. Okay, this is just to give you a brief overview of what static keyword is and how the concept of static work in Java, right? So I hope you understand the video. So that's all for this video. I will see you in the next video, and please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you really like the content. Thank you. Bye bye.